I'm lying down. I can't move. Like my bones and muscles are fused together. But I can still feel something writhing beneath me. Snakes. Hundreds and hundreds of snakes. Coiling over each other, moving in and around the mound. I can feel them, but I cannot look down to see them. My eyes are stuck looking up, looking at a light. I don't know where I am. A well, a pit, or a prison. Sorry, I can't focus thinking about the snakes. I can feel their cold backs against mine, their tails flick and their tongues prod at me. I can't yell for help in the dream. I can't move. I can't speak. Yes. No, I've never become lucid. This would be the 10th time. Always on a Friday night. Funny what dreams do to you. Your own head opening doors to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. New passions, fantasies, new fears. Just like that one horrific dream about being stuck in a bed of snakes turned into a crippling fear, followed by several therapy sessions. I don't mean some instinctual understanding that snakes are dangerous. I mean the kind of fear where I was having panic attacks over finding a loose shoelace. It was not normal. I hadn't even seen a real snake before. I don't live near them and I don't work with them. That dream opened a door that could not be closed. And every Friday night it came back to remind me that I fear snakes more than anything in this world. My therapist said I had repressed memories of encountering a snake, and it affected me so much that my brain coped by pushing it down and locking it away. Work stress or life stress then triggered some lock and it came up again. Sure, it was possible. But everyone in my life swears up and down that I have never even picked up a lizard, let alone a snake. Sometimes I see something at the top. A blurry figure in the light. It is hard to make out, but it has some sort of helmet or hat on, wide on either side, and it looks like there are slits where the eyes would be. It is hard to make out, but it appears to be smiling. It doesn't reach out for me, it just watches me and smiles. Once I remember seeing two figures, the one with the hat and another, a smaller blur, like a kid or something. It started to affect my work. Cords under my desk became nests of writhing vipers. Vines were constrictors surrounding the building. Even necklaces were small snakes moments away from choking someone to death. Of course, my boss didn't understand. Even I knew this was absurd. I was having such distinct breaks from reality that I was forced out of the office. I still had my job, but it was not secure. I was in limbo. I don't know how I heard about it, but somehow I knew about a man who could cure anything. His name just emerged in my mind. His face was so clear and his words so distinct. I feel as though I had met him before, somehow. A week came around, another dream, another therapy session. What was there to discuss? That I was nearly killed by a snake when I was 5? What good does that do me if right now I am being assaulted by phantom snakes emerging from objects that only vaguely resemble them? I skipped the sessions and went somewhere else. There is a man I can sometimes see sitting in the snake pit. He is speaking, but it is muffled. But I still know what he is saying. I know it, but I can't think of it. He can walk on the snakes without them sinking him or harming him, like he has control of them. I think he is telling me to do something, or go somewhere, or that something is going to happen. I wake up before I can really ever remember. But I know it. I am sure I know it. I was sitting in a nail salon, waiting to be seen by someone who worked out the back. The nail techs were applying acrylic to a woman's nails. The smell was so strong that it somewhat dulled my senses, making it easier to sit next to a terrifying mess of cords. Another woman was furiously scrubbing at the flaky feet of another customer. The dead skin came off like powder. I became aware of my own skin peeling at my fingertips. Must have been stress or maybe coincidence. I did not have much time to think on it when a woman called for me and said the doc will see me now. I quickly rushed over to the back of the salon and into a hallway, a narrow hallway with a few doors, mostly for storing salon products. But at the end was an office door with a name inscribed on a piece of metal. Time slowed as I walked. The name in print became more clear to me, and its origin even more so. I had seen it in a goddamn dream. Maybe I had come here before, maybe I had somehow stumbled onto this hallway by accident, forgotten where I had seen it, and only now am I conflating a memory with a dream. Even as I hesitated in thought, I kept walking. It didn't matter how I found this place had my panacea. A man who could cure anything. I didn't care what the drug was, what its side effects were. I wanted to be rid of this horrific fear. I wanted to be normal again. I opened the door and everything went blank. time I was able to stand. I looked down and I saw my feet were on two pillars that the snakes avoided. They moved around them, leaving me to stand there untouched. I remember looking around. I was trying to find a ladder or a rope, a way out. I looked up at the light and saw the figure again, but with more definition. Maybe because I was standing, or maybe the light was focused in a different way, but I saw that it was not a hat or a helmet that the figure wore. It was its head. It was smiling and it was saying something, but I couldn't understand it. I tried to respond, but I couldn't speak. My mouth was blocked with something metallic, or was it flesh? It felt like a spike in my mouth, and I could feel cold metal, but I could also feel soft skin. I tried to pull it out, but when I did, I felt it tug on my cheeks. It was fused to me. It was not an object in my mouth. It was my mouth. I panicked and then fell into the snakes. They were all over me, covering my body, and as I flailed, I sunk deeper. Then everything went still, and the snakes coiled around my legs and my arms and started to lift me up. I was being lifted by this mountain, all the way to the top, closer to the figure, close enough that I could hear it make a noise. I stumbled out of the salon. I felt worse. I felt like I was about to vomit my stomach up. Was this the cure? Feeling so horrible that I had no time to fear anything else? I couldn't imagine what people saw, my gaunt face, my sunken eyes. I knew I was alive, but I felt dead. I walked like I was dead. I couldn't remember clearly. I went into the door and I came out. Memories pierced my brain like shrapnel from a mortar blast. Conversations about dreams, about the future, about the end of the world. The wall walker, the whispering, nonsense words that had nothing to do with my affliction. Somehow, I made it home. I walked the whole way. I don't remember walking for so long, but I did. I went straight to my bed and vomited something up onto it, and then I fell into my own sick. When I was awake, it was because of the gunfire outside. I sprung with energy I thought I had lost and rushed to the window. It was some sort of paramilitary operation. The street was filled with armored trucks and soldiers. The doctor told me about this, that I needed to take the cure now, because after today it all comes to an end. I could hear the soldiers come up the apartment stairwell, screaming and gunshots and orders echoing throughout. I went to grab my phone and saw my hand. My hand that was not mine. It was like a glove, pocked with metal rivets. But I could still feel the tips as though they were my own. I looked further at myself. My clothes were woven into my skin. The fabrics had nerves in them, and I could feel the light breeze from my fan. saw them. The things wrapped around my biomechanical arms. A pair of snakes. I tried to scream, I tried to make any noise, but I couldn't. My mouth had been shut together into some lattice of metal. But I could hear two voices. The snakes were looking at me and speaking. "We have to run," one said. "We have to fight," said the other. I had nothing to defend myself with, but the snakes spoke again and told me that I do not need weapons to survive. From their mouths oozed a substance, each one a different color. They pooled into my palms and percolated. One was icy and intensely cold. The other was hot and glowing. "Mix them," said the snakes. And so I crushed the substances in my hands together. They formed a solid mass, jolting about with energy. Suddenly my door was blown open and the soldiers poured in. I threw the mass on instinct and obliterated my apartment. The chaos let me escape. I stuck to the shadows as best I could. My body felt so capable and so strong, like I had always had it. All the while, the snakes spoke to me, telling me things about myself and about them, and what we now must